We made it, Tate.
Yeah, we obviously have no voice.
We have no voice, but we did it. We are live from New Orleans. We just witnessed, perhaps, I'm going to say it. I don't care.
Ding dong.
I'm going to say it because I live in the moment, and also I bounced this off of people I was seeing on the street, and we all agreed this is the greatest basketball game we've ever seen. We just got done watching it. We were in the Superdome. We walked
I haven't heard that. That is, it almost killed me.
Not the best played basketball game I've ever seen, but given the stakes, given the rivalry, given all of it.
Yeah.
And I understand in a vacuum, maybe it wasn't the best game, but this was not in a vacuum. And given the circumstances, this was the greatest
in the Superdome,
thing.
In the Final Four.
Oh my
and
God,
if you had
dude.
told me, 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 days ago, that your North Carolina Tar Heels, would knock out Coach K in his last game of collegiate basketball, I would have said to you, sir, are you God?
Dude, where do we start? There's so much.
Man. I'm so happy. The fact that I'm sitting here in this amazing studio that we have set up, and the fact that you're wearing a North Carolina Dakota jersey, and the fact that Jim Cunningham had a North Carolina jersey on, and the fact that as I walked out of an arena, a group of fans, of Villanova fans, that had ruined my life 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember it so well. Broke my heart. The fact that they're like, congrats, go Heels. Like, the fact that I walked out in a basketball communion of sorts.
Can I paint a narrative, and I'll let you jump in as we go.
Please, paint the narrative.
So, first of all, I want to say to the Duke fans that Tate and I are doing the 3x3U deal here in New Orleans. We do it every year.
Yeah.
Watch it if you're not watching it. Stop by if you're in town, whatever, yada, yada, yada. So today we're at 3x3U. We're in our tuxedos. We're handing out bags of cash to college basketball players. We're the first people to ever pay college basketball players. There were a few Duke fans that showed up, and they wanted pictures of us. They wanted to talk to us, whatever. It was a little weird. Anytime Duke fans are like, I love the show, love you guys.
You're like, wait a second,
I don't know what's going on. But they were nice. They were cordial.
They
They
were
wanted
cordial.
pictures. They wanted whatever. We give them time.
I took a picture with a kid in a Shane Battier jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talk about being a bigger man, right?
Everything was fine. Everything's great. And the reason I'm telling you this, Tate, is because after the 3x3U deal ends, we walked to our hotel. We changed into what I changed into what I'm wearing now, which is the Ed Cota jersey you gave me. And I step outside the hotel, and I'm telling you, from the walk from the hotel to the Superdome was just hate. It was like
It was a player hater's ball.
like I forgot I was wearing this, if I'm being completely honest. Like I threw it on. I was like, we're gonna get to the game, and when the game starts, I'm gonna go crazy for Carolina. But I forgot that like I'm out in public wearing an Ed Cota jersey. We're quote unquote about to play Duke, and I'm just walking on the street, and like Duke fans are talking shit to me, like left and right.
Yes. Lot.
There's an old man that comes up to me like immediately. I step out. I'm not even out of the hotel. I think I was like in the lobby. I'm like walking out of the hotel. He goes, "Hope it's a good game tonight. Hope we don't beat you too bad." And I was like, "What are you saying to me?" And then I looked down. And I realized I was wearing the Carolina.
Yeah, you're like,
and my point is,
you're like wrong guy on the
yes,
podcast.
yes, right. But the whole reason I bring that up is that whatever led up to this point of you indoctrinating me and like my disdain of K that is built throughout the entire season that culminated, I thought, in Cameron Indoor Stadium when the Heels took care of business there. Buddy, I'm telling you, when I was by the time I got to the Superdome, I was like, I think I got a degree from North Carolina because I hate Duke fans more than it. Like I hadn't even said a word. I swear to you, I was not starting anything. I was just like walking. I'm just trying to exist in my own little bubble.
You didn't even mention while we were walking to the stadium, we had 4 Duke fans. One of them sarcastically said to us, "Go Heels."
Yeah.
And I thought he was being sincere, so I was like, "Yeah, man, go Heels." Like, whatever. Like, I'm trying to cross the street. It's stopped right now, so I'm going to stand here. And he goes, "Hey, quick question. Can Armando Baycott read?"
Yeah, can they read? Yeah, I was getting
These are
that
the
too.
things
What is that?
It's a J.R. Reed joke, I guess, because remember they had a sign once upon a time. Coach K allowed the Cameron Crazies to have a sign that said J.R. cannot read. J.R. Reed came on our show today.
Yeah,
there was a lot of serendipity in the day. And J.R. Reed earlier today, and look, there was no sense of arrogance. There was no sense of confidence at some level where you're like, I would never say to someone, I hope you guys keep it close, right? So these are the things that, as it was leading up to the game, I kept saying to Mark Titus, and they had the Armando Baycott comment. I was like, these are all karma plays that, like, I am amazed that people would ever do something like this when your team is about to play.
I'm amazed because, like, as much as you wear...
The audacity is amazing, but the karma behind it is even more amazing.
As much as you wear your Carolina fandom on your sleeve, I can attest. You weren't, like, as we were walking into the...
Wasn't like I'm talking.
You weren't talking. Like,
No.
We were both talking to each other, not really saying... We weren't even saying anything about...
We're not drunk, we're not inebriated, we're dead sober.
Minding our own business.
Yeah, literally.
And the reason I bring that up is that, like, this is, like, by the time I got to the arena, as I was
ready
saying,
to go to war.
I was ready. Like, it was goddamn war, dude. It was war.
It really was. It really was. It felt like that.
So then, and I'm just giving a narrative to paint a picture here. We get to the arena, the Superdome. I'm sorry, it's not really an arena, more of a stadium, I would say. We're privileged enough we don't need to explain the specifics, but through some channels, we get access to a suite, Tate.
Yes.
So we're walking in during the Kansas Villanova game. It had just tipped off. We're slightly late, but who cares? We were going to go to the suite that we had access to. And we walk up to the suite, and and we're like, this is going to be sick, you know, like, we were pinching ourselves, like, we have access to this suite for Carolina.
We're not sweet guys, you know what I mean? We're not Zach and Cody, okay? This is Titus and Tate.
We walk in, it's 90% Duke fans. And we're like, this has to be the wrong suite. It was not. We felt like
I thought I was getting punked. I literally, and I walked in first, and I did I just did the Simpsons meme. I basically walked in and said, nope, can't do that. And you were looking at me bewildered. You're like, what's going on here? And immediately the first thing I saw was a Christian Laettner jersey. And a lot of people were like, get over it, dude. It's a Christian Laettner jersey. But can you explain why?
But below the Christian Laettner jersey was all of Christian Laettner's accolades from his time at Duke. It said, like, 2-time national champion, 4-time Final Four. It's like stitched into the jersey.
First team All ACC. It was unbelievable.
A flat bill hat.
Yes.
Like it was.
And he goes, what's up, bro?
And again, the reason I'm telling you this, I'm painting a picture, Tate. So this is like my experience. Like I wasn't born and raised.
I'm coming into the game.
Yes.
I'm like, what is
I was
happening?
not born and raised in this rivalry. I've never in my life been to a Carolina Duke game. All I did was put on an Ed Cota jersey, and like this is my experience. And I'm walking into this, and like people are turning and looking at me, and I'm like, what? I'm just trying to live, man. Like I don't know what's going on. So we decide we're not going to go to the suite. We go to we had backup tickets because we thought we should have backup tickets.
Shout out the friend of the program, Craig. You know who you are.
Craig, you know who you are.
Love
Shout
you,
out,
Craig.
buddy.
You're the best.
You set it up. So we go to our seats, and the seats that we had weren't in the Duke section, but they were close enough.
They were above the Duke section.
They were above the Duke section. They were hovering the Duke section.
Can I ask you a question? How many Michael Savarino jerseys did you see tonight?
Dude.
And you hear that at home and you think I'm kidding. There were at least 5 in front of us.
Unbelievable.
Jim's upset because he wanted to have the 6th one, but no
Jim
one
was
made
like,
him one.
how much to get a Savarino? I love that guy.
Leader.
I love the way he drives to the basket. And then he Jim just kept saying that. He's like, get it, drives, get it. Do you guys get it?
Jim wants a microphone.
So we're in those seats. There's about 4 minutes left in the Kansas Villanova game. It's Kansas.
It's getting a little tight at the end.
Get a little tight. Villanova. Shout out to Villanova.
Shout out to Villanova. Never quit in this game.
Never
missing one of their best players.
I think they cut it to 6 at one point. That was interesting.
Which we said, by the way, early in that game, they were getting doubled up. I think it was 36-18. And we said Colin Gillespie's going to cut this game to 6.
Yeah.
Make it respectable. And shout out to you, Colin, Psycho C, because you refused to quit in that game.
Hang the banner. Cut it to 6.
Yeah, cut it to 6.
But there's like 4 minutes. It's like the under 4 timeout at the end of that game. And Tate turns to me and he's like, hey, man, so my family's here. I'm going to go just say what's up to the fam real quick.
Yeah.
I figure with we have like 4 minutes left in this one. The warm-up for Duke, Carolina.
30 minutes.
I'm just going to go run and say what's up to them and come right back.
Perfect timing.
And as soon as he said that, I turned to Jim and I said, we're not going to see Tate the rest of the night. So I dab up Tate. I said, see you, buddy. And because I could see on your face that we were above the Duke section. Like the whole vibe was off. Like that's what our entire walk up there.
Yeah.
We get to the suite. We get to the Duke section.
Yeah,
we
had done all we could at that point.
So tell me what happened from your perspective after that, because that's when I lost you. That was just I wanted to say that because I wanted to set the stage of like what I experienced going into this game, where like I was like, all right, we have to end Duke because this was. Yeah.
So 2017, I was in Phoenix when North Carolina knocked off Gonzaga. I was not there for Saturday. I was not there for the Oregon game, but I was there for Monday. And where I sat, the North Carolina bench was directly in front of us, and we were on the sideline. And a bunch of friends, of mine, my mom, my brother, my Aunt Pat, my cousin Elizabeth, they were all down in a similar section as Phoenix, right? So,
yeah.
And I was there with my mom in Phoenix, and I got down there, I walked to their seats, and as I'm walking down, the Carolina people, you know what I mean? It's like, let's go, Tate. Let's get it. Let's go. You know what I mean? And it was like, I felt like Rocky, like for the first time in my life. And look, a lot of people were like rolling their eyes. But at the moment in time, I was like, this is bigger than me.
This is war, dude. This is a real war.
This is everything. And my brother is very superstitious. My mom's very superstitious. My mom is wearing like her Carolina shorts. She had them in the bag. She was like, I'll have to put my shorts on if we need them. My brother had his lucky shirt. He changed shirts the 16-minute mark in the second half. There were so many things within this game that were so absurd. There were so many moments that I thought that I was going to break, where I saw stars as I did during the Baylor game. But there were two Duke fans in front of us, and shout out to them. They did not have they had a long night. They had a very long night with the Carolina fans around them. But at the end of the game, after you mentioned all the disrespect, I do want to give the credit here to these two Doogies, because after the game, and look, they heard a lot from the Carolina fans, and obviously I was falling. I was crying. I was bawling crying because I have seen, like, when you see someone get away with murder, I know it's a phrase, but when you see someone get away with murder every day
for 40
years, or how long? I'm 29, so I've seen murder get committed every year for 29 years, and the man just keeps getting away and walking scot-free. And not only do they say they don't say he's a murderer, they say he's a fucking hero. I mean, the guy's a champion.
You're a hater. You're a hater.
And I'm a hater.
You're a hater. You want to prosecute the murderer, and you're a hater.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. You're like, this man should be in prison, and they're like, you're a hater.
Exactly.
Like, imagine that. That's the scene we're dealing with. Is that
in my mind, in my world, and amongst this sea of Carolina blue, that is what we were dealing with, and the fact that, like, it was not easy. The fact that, like, there were so many times where, I even in my heart of hearts was like, I think that there was a moment where Banchero missed the free throw. This is the one that I think of because the race is 6-9. Banchero misses a free throw.
Yeah.
If Banchero makes that free throw, he wins the race 6-9, and game is over. Game is over. There's a group of students 2 rows behind me, and their mom is with them. Shout out to her. She was great. When we won the
What's up, Mom?
We won
at
the
Club Trillion. DMs are open.
She's watching. When the race is 69, when Banchero missed the free throw, these kids, like, it was like they're throwing beers in the air. You know what I mean? Like going crazy. And Brady Manick had a 3 on the next possession. It was like, multiple offensive rebounds. They kick it out to Brady. He misses the 3. Goes all the way down, rims out. I'm like, man, we're gonna lose this game. This is over. We're not gonna win the race of 69. They ended up winning the race of 69, folks. And when they did, I just felt like I was at home. You know what I mean? Like, look, I clicked my heels, and I showed up in a place that was better than I could ever imagine. It was like seeing a world in color, as I have dealt with the world of black and white my entire life, where there's 2 shades of the world that exists. The fact that I got to see vivid colors, and I got to see a basketball team overcome so much adversity. Shout out to Bo Borowski. You're the face of adversity.
Dude, Bo Borowski, I think it was Keels, had the drive that should have, in the NBA, it's the continuation.
Yes.
And
Floor.
It wasn't even Bo Borowski's call to make, and he comes in going like this.
It was good.
Dude, Jim can attest. I'm in this section, like, again, we're not in the Duke section, but we're close enough. And I'm just turning around, just yelling to everybody, Bo says no. Bo says no.
And Bo knows.
And this is what, dude, before the game,
Bo Borowski won me over with that.
I was going to say,
he really did.
You texted or pointed out to me, I've seen you and not seen you. Somebody, like, I don't remember how you told me. You're like, dude, Bo Borowski's on the game tonight.
Yeah.
We're screwed.
And Roger Ayers.
And I said to you, there are 2 men in college basketball that have bigger egos than Coach K. Maybe. Probably not. But, like, if there are 2 men.
Number 1 is TV Teddy.
Ted Valentine.
Yes.
Number
you might
1
be
is
watching
Ted
this. Shout out to you, TV Teddy.
Number 2 is Bo Borowski, and I said, I get it, I understand. Like, if I was a Carolina fan, I would go into this game too and be like, Bo Borowski on the call, don't love it.
Don't love it.
But as I tried to take like a neutral point of view, Tate, and I was like, if there's one man that wants to upstage this scene that has been set here in New Orleans for Coach K to be anointed on his final season.
Oh, man.
It's Bo Borowski.
It's Bo Borowski.
And you have an opportunity, Bo, to make yourself a legend and not give Duke the whistle that you've given Duke your entire career.
Yes.
To finally step up and say enough is enough. This isn't about Coach K. This is about me, Bo Borowski. I run college basketball.
The greatest official of all time.
The greatest of all time.
The GOAT.
And I'll be damned, he did that. Like, I'm not even gonna pretend to. I will never venture into the territory of saying Duke got an unfavorable whistle because
that was the opposite of what happened for the majority of the game. But that moment in time, I cannot believe that was not
Duke did not get a favorable whistle in this game. It was like there were moments.
Paolo Banchero fouled out multiple times in this game.
Dude, you're not right. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to drive home the point. I'm trying to say it was bad both ways, so that way.
Look, hey, Bo knows, and when he made that
Bo
call,
said no.
I at least said to myself, we got a shot. And all that Carolina ever needed in this game was a shot under 4 minutes in crunch time, because the other team, obviously Duke, a worthy opponent, played a really good game, has the best player on the court, right, when we talk about it. Number 5 on their team is the best player on the court. But at the end of the day, when it was crunch time, there was only one man who was ready to step up and be the Kingslayer, a.k.a. the K-Slayer. And he goes by the name of Caleb Love.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you, Caleb did not have a great first half. RJ Davis, that's my point.
RJ Davis won the battle with Jeremy Roach.
That's my point guard.
RJ Davis, Jeremy Roach, this tournament.
But the Kingslayer is Caleb Love.
The Kingslayer is Caleb Love.
Yes.
So Jeremy Roach was part of the reason people were excited about Duke, because the emergence of Jeremy Roach and Duke's point guard questions throughout the season was what kept them from reaching the heights that we thought this talented team might reach. Yeah. And then Jeremy Roach is playing out of his mind in the tournament. Wasn't awesome against Arkansas. Showed a little cracks in the armor against Arkansas though, because remember he was bringing the ball up and the pressure got to him, and then they started letting Wendell Moore bring the ball up.
Who was the point guard at one point during the season?
So that was certainly a matchup to watch. I think for me the two matchups are Brady Manek and Paolo Banchero, because I don't think either guy could or wanted to guard each other.
Yeah, Brady didn't want to guard.
And then
they put Leaky on him for a little while, which was nice.
R.J. Davis and Jeremy Roach. Those were the two matchups I was looking at. And R.J., dude, he ate his lunch, man. Yeah. He had his way out there. He was amazing.
Yeah, and that's how he was in the last game in Cameron, and that was really the difference in the game. And I think every single Carolina fan going into this game, and my Aunt Pat said this, she was like, don't let them get up by more than 5. And every single time that Duke got up by the most, they got up by 6. But RJ, the point guard, got a bucket every single time to keep it within reach. You know what I mean? We never let them ever get ahead enough where they're throwing down. Because Mark Williams, the first play of the game, not the first play of the game, but their first score of the game, that dunk he had.
Dude, he had like 5 dunks in a row.
Exactly. That was you know, you were like, they're trying to send the message, like, get out of the way. Watch your head. You know what I mean? A lot of that was going to go on. But the fact that R.J. Davis, every single time you needed a bucket, every time you needed to calm down and get things settled, he did it. I mean, that's all you can ask for from any point guard. And he was amazing tonight. He really was. It was not a Brady Manek game. It was not a Caleb Love game. It was not a Armando Bacot game, a guy who fouls out of this one.
Got hurt, dude. I thought it was over when he got hurt. What do you got? What happened? Was it an ankle? I couldn't see.
Can I say this? This is the only biased thing I'm going to say in this broadcast. We cannot get a
as the room erupts in laughter.
Can we get a replay in the arena of these? I mean, it was unbelievable. Like, I'm sure at home you get the replay. I would assume so. I hope so. I got to watch the broadcast. But there was so many times in this game where it was like something would be called or they're looking at the monitor, and I had no idea what was going on. And I don't know if you guys felt like that, or maybe I was like in this.
No, I felt like that.
I felt very out of the loop. So, like, even when we were like talking about things that happened in the game, it was like even when Bacot went down, I just saw the Carolina team was behind the basket. And they were, like, surrounding someone, and I didn't know who was down. And Coach Davis was, like, trying to talk to the official, basically, like, I don't know what he was trying to ask for, but I think he was trying to ask for a review. Like, how did we get here? But then there was no review that ever happened. And there was multiple times in the game where there was There was like you said, the drama of this, like this was a soap opera. I felt like this was Days of Our Lives. You know what I mean? And
it really
was season 1.
I can't stress enough. Inside the Superdome was the wildest scene I've ever seen. Going into this game, obviously. I mean, we've talked about it like nonstop. Like we barely even talked about the Kansas Villanova game leading up to this thing. No one did. No one did. The hype for this was at a level I'm not sure how you could possibly ever top the hype going to K's final season and Carolina Duke for the first time ever meeting in the Final Four.
Yeah.
And somehow it exceeded the hype, Tate. I don't
Yeah. I mean
again, the game was not perfectly played.
Yeah.
Carolina had some sloppy turnovers. It felt like Caleb Love was just throwing it straight, trying to start a fast break. It felt like I was watching a fast break drill where the coach just takes the ball. He's like, all right, now let's run. And he just throw it to the guy. That's basically what Caleb Love did a few times.
Yeah.
Nobody could hit shots for long stretches, especially at the start of the game. So I'm not going to pretend like this was the most beautifully played basketball game ever. But as you said, it was like a soap opera. And being in that environment, it delivered in every single way you could imagine in terms of the atmosphere and the
momentum and the runs. And how many times in that game did you think how many times did you see the Duke fans when they would go on their run where they thought they
thought it was over,
and then we thought it was over.
You thought it was,
and they thought it was over, and they played every time we touch.
Dude,
with 2:42 to play in the game, the Duke Devil. Good God, goes out in the middle of the court with their cheerleaders, and they play every time we touch. It was a celebration that they were going to win the game. But that just goes to show you how many times that both of us were we did it. No, you did it. It was a momentum.
Every time we touched that, can I I just want to, as a guy, the last Duke basketball game I attended was the 2015 national championship. And I was on press row and was not in as I said, I wasn't in the Duke section, but I was adjacent. I was right there. It felt like I was in the Duke section. Every time they did anything, if there's a huge roar,
all those journalists obviously are in the Duke section because they picked them to win the game, every single one of them. So congratulations, you guys are right.
But in 2015, I was not in the Duke section. I was a press row, whatever. So the point of bringing this up was that experiencing Duke fandom in person, in the heart of it, for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Dude. It got to you, right?
It
gets to you.
Because part of me, and if you listen to the show and you've been watching us and whatever, you've watched me slowly lose my mind. It makes sense that Tate's losing his mind. Tate's a Carolina guy.
Not only did I go to North Carolina, which I have to remind people because there are a lot of people you're just a North Carolina fan. I'm I didn't go to Catawba County. I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and I graduated with a broadcast journalism degree. And if you can find me a Duke student that was actually at that game, I'll find a liar. Just kidding. Just kidding.
It makes sense that you would be losing your mind going into this game. I think every so often in my moments of when I'm alone and I'm staring in the mirror, I'm thinking to myself, have I gone too far, Mark? Have you lost it? When I'm wearing that Dakota jersey, and
how did we get here?
How did I get here? What? Am I wrong? Am I the asshole? Did I make a mistake somewhere along the line? And I guess that's the point of me trying to share my experience tonight is that it has never been clearer that I am not in fact the asshole.
Agreed.
As it pertains to this.
As it pertains to this. And that's why everyone's why is this guy going crazy? It's the exact same. It's I am not the one here. I am not the crazy person. You know what I mean?
I'm not the crazy person. I promise I'm not the crazy person.
They literally call themselves the crazies.
But the more you yell, I'm not the crazy person, the crazier you sound.
Yeah.
But
especially
tonight,
as you lose your voice.
As I see grown men with thick chains that have a big Duke logo on it, and they're sticking the Duke logo out there, the Duke logo. I saw more jerseys being worn with no undershirts. I mean, the Miami Heat would be embarrassed at how many. Yeah. The Heat are the only.
LeBron would blush.
Yeah. LeBron would be like, my God, dude, that's a
little too much.
That's a lot of dudes with no undershirts under their jerseys. How many people were wearing devil horns that light up? And
as I said to you as we were walking in, I was like, can you imagine? I mean, look, we both went to church. You know, I mean, we know the story of heaven and hell. The fact that people endorse. The fact that people endorse the Satan side of it, and not only endorse it live it,
You
love
have memorabilia, dude. You're like Satan #1. Like you have horns. Like you just want to shake him. You just want to be like you literally have horns on your head.
Like,
You are cheering for a Methodist university, and you are wearing horns on your head and clapping when a devil comes out. And
that's my fun.
dude,
it's all right.
That and it again, these are all things in 29 years of life that you're like, yeah, no shit, dude. I've grown up with this.
Yeah.
Like the light bulbs are clicking for me, dude. And I'm like, I'm sitting in this Duke section just.
I think that late New Jersey really broke both of us. Honestly, I think that was the moment where like we were both waffling. We were both like, man, this is really getting to be quite. Like almost comical.
Listen, there are a lot of like fan bases in college basketball that are a little much. You know, and North Carolina is one of them. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say this while wearing the Dakota jersey. I think North Carolina fans can be a bit much. I experienced it in the Dean Dome. You know, when Ohio State won by 25, and I went in there and I was like, these people can be a bit much. But every time I've been in an environment where I've thought the fans were a bit much, it was a bit much, but it was also something I understood and something like logic could lead me to that point that got there. I've gone to games in Rupp Arena. I've been around Kentucky fans on neutral sites and home like in Rupp and like everything else. Kentucky fans are out of their minds. I've been to Lawrence. Mm-hmm. They're out of their mind. Like, but there's a rationality to their irrationality, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a path that leads you there. Duke fans are an alien race. Like they are not human beings. I don't understand. I felt like I was doing a science experiment. I was like trying to understand how these people got here, what they're doing, why on free throws they're doing spirit fingers. Like, you know. Like, what's going on? Like, I understand the students doing the spirit fingers, but, like,
No, there's, like, grown people.
Grown dudes and, and freaking button-ups.
The same guy that Duke chain is doing spirit fingers on free throws.
Yes, the spirit finger. And the guy wearing a Zion Williamson with no undershirt and a big fat Duke chain and a flat bill is doing spirit fingers. And every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time and I'm like, dude, what is this?
Yeah.
And you just want to shake him and be like, there's a better way. And it doesn't have to be North Carolina. You can step away from the whole rivalry if you want, but it's not this. It's not this. I promise. So anyway, that was.
No, you're.
Dude, I was going crazy because like you made the right decision getting out of the section.
They were to the left of me, right? So like when they played Every Time You Touch, I just looked to my left. I watched them all do that. All the Carolina fans. Like it was kind of like. Everyone kind of pivoted, watched them do their little dance or whatever. We all acted as if we never saw that and hope that it burns it out of my head. Jim's listening to Every Time We Touch right now as we talk about it. Bobby's
like, I love that.
He's like, that's
fire,
a bop.
dude. Is that Drake?
Yeah. He's like, man, Coach K, that's my guy. But yeah, we just watched them. We were like, what is wrong with these people? Like you said, it's like it's literally Men in Black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, in Men in Black, you're like, these people, like, there are aliens among us, right? And there they are, and they all go to one school. But, look, at the end of the day, the real story here throughout this game, because we got a 10-minute video before it started, was about Coach K.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we talk about Coach K? Because I saw in the post-game press conference, he said it's not about me. So I didn't know if you wanted to touch on it.
I got a text from my father, and I want to say this. My dad said he watched Coach K's press conference, and he said he has a little bit of class. Little bit of class. So, just a little bit.
We need a Coach K class meter.
Yeah. He has zero integrity. And, like, the integrity will never be there. In fact, I told, like, 5 Duke fans tonight that they have no integrity. And
what?
No
okay, here's a take. Here's a fresh off the dome take I got for you, and you tell me your thoughts. I think this is great for you. This is great for North Carolina. What happened tonight, what we saw transpire tonight in the Louisiana Mercedes, but who sponsored
Caesars.
Caesars
Superdome.
No free ads though, so screw Caesars. Sponsor the pod if you want us to talk about you. What we saw in the Superdome is in fact bad for the North Carolina Duke rivalry because I don't understand how Duke fans could possibly come back from this. I don't see a path back for Duke.
Say hello to the Northwestern of the South.
I'm not saying Duke is never going to win another title. I'm not saying Duke is
That's
never
a little too far. Don't worry, Duke. I'm just kidding.
I'm not saying like Duke's program should fold. I'm not saying anything like that. But you have a trump card for the rest of eternity.
Michael Jordan in 1982 is in the Final Four.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan loses to Duke. They own him forever.
They'll never shut up about it.
It never shut up.
No matter what he does the rest of his life,
exactly.
Duke fans will never
Coach
shut up about
K
it.
is their Michael Jordan. Like when we talk about the GOAT, they're like, there's only one GOAT. he's a rat, and he's ours. Okay. That is what we're dealing with, right? So, like, the fact that we just beat your GOAT in his last game, goodbye. Bye. You're done. It's over. Kaput. Finito. Au revoir. C'est la vie. It's done, dude. It's done. It's done. And if you think that little weasel that you got sitting next to you is going to come fix the problem, he's not. So you better call Brad Stevens tomorrow. Right? That's what I would say. Sorry, I forgot.
Dude, no, for real. Like, what can Duke possibly do that the Duke fans could ever say anything? Literally anything to North Carolina. They could be North Carolina the next 100 times they play.
They have no reality. You have to remember. You saw this today. They have no reality. So you have to remember this. That it doesn't matter. You're dealing with aliens. But at the end of the day, Coach K. I dropped my phone. The Coach K succession plan was simple. Coach K is still number one on the successor power.
He's coming back.
And there is no way in HE double hockey sticks that Satan himself is going to go out losing to God, okay? And the good guys won, but the good guys know that there's always another side of the situation. And if I'm Coach K, there is 0.0% chance that is the last game he coaches. 0.0%. Maybe I give a 0.01% chance, but I promise you, John Shire is going to start the season 9-4 next year, and there's going to be some rumblings about, like, are things going awry? Coach K actually came back and ran a practice, and he was feeling spry, and everyone's like, man, it was great to have K in the building.
Yeah, John Shire, like, he's not panicking. It's just like he could use, like, some other eyeballs on what's going on.
What's going on?
So who else to call but Coach K? And Coach K comes to practice.
Yeah.
And K's kind of helping out with practice a little bit.
But
he's also talking a little more every day.
And everyone's like, dude, I don't know, man. Coach K, he's looking pretty good to me.
Yeah.
And he's sounding pretty good, and he's sounding pretty locked in. And then all of a sudden, we get an update on our Bleacher Report app or Score app, whatever you have, and it says, Coach K has decided to honorary coach the Pittsburgh game. So Coach K is going to coach the Pittsburgh game at
But John
home.
Shire gets sick or something.
Yeah, John Shire has COVID.
Even if it's that, yeah.
John Shire has COVID. So he's done. He's done for this game. Coach K is going to step in Barry Alvarez style and say, I'm going to coach this one game. He coaches that game. Duke wins by 31. Everyone's like, oh, my God. The Duke Blue Devils with Coach K, it feels right again. And then we get the announcement. Coach K is going to coach out the rest of the season. He's going to coach out the rest of the season. He's going to have a co-coaching situation. Himself, John Shire, the rat and the weasel, right? It's the tortoise and the hare. In fact, this whole story was the tortoise and the hare because I've never seen a hare be so irresponsible and act like he can do whatever he wants. Meanwhile, the tortoise is just running the race. And, like, look at this bozo. Look at this bozo over here. My God. Like, the hubris, the audacity of this person, of this rabbit.
It's insane.
The co-coaching situation, though, I think comes back, and Coach K, I think, coaches against Carolina again. I think that is my 100% belief in the situation. Coach K is not done. He will coach against Carolina again.
Coach K, if you're watching, here's what I tell you. Here's what you should do. Be the Undertaker at WrestleMania, where you do one match a year, and it's WrestleMania.
That's why we do a podcast, folks. That's right.
You only coach when Carolina comes to Cameron Indoor Stadium, and you're very explicit about it. I think you could. I actually think this is the way because like all the people like me that I've covered it on the show many times, but I'll cover it 1,000,001 that were sort of annoyed by K his entire career, but like you're also like whatever, he's not really hurting me that much, and have just like gone full insane this entire season, but especially the past month or so.
Yeah.
You can win us back. Not fully, but like you could win us back a little bit if you in fact like come out and say like, listen, man, Carolina kicked my ass in humiliating fashion the last 2 times I played them.
That's apparently he said something along those lines. So that's what I said.
And I can't go out that way. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back. I'm going to coach every game in Cameron Indoor Stadium against Carolina until I get a win, and then I'm going to retire after that. And like it's cowardly, it's Bush League. I'm going to kill you for it, but like.
Damn, do I respect it.
I respect it, and honestly, there's no way that I'm going to kill you any more than I'm already going to kill you because, like, what has transpired over the course of this season
could not have gone any worse.
Could not have gone any worse. Could not have gone any worse. The lead up to the Final Four, Nike printing jerseys or shirts or whatever with just a K on it And as you said, the 10-minute video where Kay's talking to his wife, it's like, dude, like, if you don't want to make it about you, I don't know, maybe talk to your wife at your house.
Yeah.
Like, all these things where you're like, Minky, I love you. And just like, cool, man. Like,
dude, how about the...
Go tell her at your house. Like, why do I need to be...
How about the story about his burner accounts?
Dude.
Like, it was like a feel-good story. I'm not even kidding. I'm not talking like but Brian Colangelo burner accounts. This was Coach K, and what was it? It was the Athletic.
It was Yahoo. Yahoo wrote the article about Jeff Eisenberg. Shout out Jeff.
Shout out Jeff.
Doing
Jeff,
big
you're
time
actually the
journalism.
man. I didn't know you had to write this because Coach K was like probably standing over you, making you type it. But he wrote that Coach K loves Beyonce.
Yep.
Loves Napa Valley Cabernets.
Yep.
And loves gardening.
And he also loves having burner accounts that he can follow his players and yeah.
And I'm not even. You think that's a joke? Like you probably think we're making that up. That was the lead of the story.
Yeah.
And it was like an endearing story to be like, Coach K, you might not think he's online, but he's online.
And
it's like, what?
And having all of these stories.
Which is not good for you and I.
Dude, yeah, right. Hi, Coach. Hi, Coach.
Yeah.
Bye, Coach.
Hey, I will say, Coach K did know I did an impression of him, and no, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I have to ever do it again, by the way. I think it's over. I think Coach K and me, I think that, look, I walked away. Ryan Kelly, by the way. Shout out to Ryan Kelly. I'm walking out of the arena with my mom. I get a slap on the back. My mom is about to fight Ryan Kelly because he touched me.
You don't touch another. Juwan Howard taught us that. Don't put your hands on another man.
I was about to Juwan Howard / Will Smith.
Strike him.
No, I'm kidding. He was so cordial, and he plays with James Michael McAdoo, who I went to school with. So they play together. But he was like, "Hey, man, congratulations on the win. Don't say anything bad about me on the podcast anymore." Like, he was like joking around, but like, it was one of those things where it was like, hey, at the end of the day, this is the greatest rivalry of my life, and anyone that's a part of it, you know how special it is. And it's great to see that, like, some of the Duke people did at least have the reverence for it, like Coach K after this game.
Well, that's what's confusing, is that there are a handful of Duke people
that get it.
They get it, and you
and some of the ones that you don't think get it do get it deep down, but they don't break. You know what I mean? They don't break character. And some of them probably think that.
But I guess for me, I'm excited for the end of Coach K because I want to get back to. I had one guy come up to me that said he was boys with Shire, and like, I don't know, people talk, they say whatever, but he was wearing. You know, I don't know how well he knows it.
I like that.
But
I'm boys with Shire.
Yeah, he was wearing a.
That's the coach of Duke now. I think that's what really hit me today.
Well, he was wearing a Duke shirt, and he's just like, Titus, yo, man, big fan. He started talking to me, and I was like, hey, man, like, I haven't had go to Jersey on. I don't know if you could see, but I'm not really keen on talking to Duke fans right now. But then I was explaining to him, I was like, I'm not really cheering. Like, I'm cheering for North Carolina, but only because I'm cheering against Coach K.
Yeah, you played at Ohio
State.
Like,
I don't think I really hate Duke that much. And he's like, no, I get it, man. He's like, to be honest with you, I kind of hated Coach K too. I'm a Shire guy. Like, I'm a Shire. And to the point is, Tate, is I'm ready for this next phase of Duke basketball where, like, Duke can just be Duke University.
Just be Duke.
And you're not like the Coach K overlord, like that was it's driven me insane. It really has. Like, I'm ready for me to just take a step back, take a deep breath, and be like, okay, Duke University has a basketball team.
Yeah.
That is their basketball team. That's it. It's done. And we don't live in this world where the head coach comes out like 10 minutes after his team comes out, and then all the like grown men are like bowing in the section for him, and every time we like whatever that whole thing is, get rid of it, get it out of here.
Yeah.
Let's start over. And just be normal for once in your life.
And John Shire has literally, I mean, for the people at home to break the fourth wall, John Shire, and every time I've talked to him, I flew in a plane with him one time. He's been nothing but nice, you know what I mean? And, like, it's not like Coach K, for me, I was a kid, you know what I mean? So it was like, and when Coach K, this is not the Coach K that I grew up on that we see now, you know what I mean? This is a grandfather. These are lots of things. Like, obviously, his grandson's on the team now. So, like, that's the other part of this. Like,
they gave Savarino an award for, like,
being the best.
God knows what. What? Like, how can people say with a straight face? I saw takes being fired off leading up to the Final Four that the only thing that's insufferable about Coach K in the Final Four is the people complaining about how insufferable Coach K in the Final Four is. And I like, again, you're going crazy because you're like, are you people not seeing that they gave this man who got a DUI with Paolo Banchero in the car?
Yeah.
They gave this man an award on, like, I don't care what I don't care what his GPA is. I don't care what, like, how qualified. Like, just don't do that. I don't know. Don't give Coach K's grandson It's insanity.
You're totally right, though. Like,
it's insanity.
Duke basketball, like I had joked on the show one time. I said, what is Duke without K? It's doo-doo, you know what I mean? But, like, at the same time, like, I mean, maybe it's not doo-doo. I mean, maybe there is some path forward where Duke has, like, a Villanova type arc.
Dude, Duke just becomes like Villanova or something.
Yeah,
like,
you're like John Shire might be likable. People were like, "Hey, man, I don't really dislike this guy in the same way." But you're right. Like this overlord mentality, this Sith Lord mentality, is why every single person like myself has been going insane since they were 0 years old. I mean, since I was told. I mean, I remember in 1998 watching a Duke Carolina game and being like, we have no chance. You know what I mean? Like, there's some games that we would watch as a kid where you're like, you'd play in Cameron, we'd be the better team, have all this talent. You're like, we have no chance against these guys tonight because of K dominating and domineering this whole atmosphere at Cameron. It's 110 degrees. You feel like you're in hell. Like, this is what it was. Yeah. And I think at some level it has to keep that kind of caricature because that is who Duke is. But maybe, just maybe, there's a path forward that doesn't include that because like I have like I understand if you're a Duke fan, you're like like this is my team,
right?
Like, I want us to be nationally revered,
right?
It's like you can in a certain way, but like in the context of now with how K was running things, it was never going to be any other way. Like it could never be any other way because he made it about himself 24/7.
All I'm asking to the Duke fans, the normal ones, not the aliens. The aliens are
aliens.
The aliens.
You know what it is.
Like there's
flash
no
that. They just flashed that.
Yeah, that was what happened tonight.
They didn't. That game never happened. They're like, we own you in recruiting.
To the normal Duke fans, all I ask is that you like take a step back, take a deep breath, and observe why guys like me are you know, because like obviously the Carolina guys are always going to hate Duke, going to you're biased, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that all of America was so excited to see Coach K go down.
Yeah.
And the reason is not, I promise you, Duke fans, I promise you, the reason is not because Coach K is a winner or that like we're jealous or anything like that.
Yeah.
I promise you, that's not what it is. It's because Coach K will not stop eating our cake, Tate. That's what it is.
Dude.
It's just that like the beatings will continue until the morale improves. That's what this entire season was for those of us that love college basketball. It was just like there's gonna be more K, and I was like, you know what? I don't need it. They're like, well, guess what? More K, bitch. Yeah. And I was like, I'm good. I promise I'm good.
Got it. Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah,
that's cool. Like you want a bunch of titles. Not my school. Don't kind of care that much, but like that's cool. He's a great coach. More K, and it just like kept coming and kept coming. And then the thing in Cameron was like honestly absurd and one of the most embarrassing things. And if K had like an ounce of
integrity,
I mean, I'm not even joking. I'm not even saying that for effect, dude. Like that is actually embarrassing. That is like that's what I'm saying. There's like no coming back for this. And I think that's what's insane to me is that I have never cared that much, and suddenly. I don't say this lightly. K's legacy to me has been tarnished by this entire season. I'm not shitting you. I'm not saying that to make you feel good.
Yeah.
It has. I will never look at Mike Krzyzewski the same again because this man is an egomaniac to the extent that I have never witnessed in my life. And just when you think he's done, just when you think like, okay, we've had enough, there's more. And there's always been more. And you know what? I got news for you. There's probably going to be more. Like when Carolina's playing Kansas, there's probably going to be like a package of like, what if Coach K was here? How cool would that have been?
Absolutely.
Like honestly, like
that's a fact. That is going to happen.
It never ends, and it feels like it might have ended tonight, and I'm happy for that reason.
At least it stopped for this moment in time, right? At least we got I felt like I haven't had fresh air in like I don't even know 18 months maybe. Like I really have not. Like since 2019 when North Carolina lost to Auburn as a 1 seed in Chuma. Shout out to Chuma, great game. Since that game happened, North Carolina was like I said, we were in the forest and we couldn't see 5 feet in front of us. You know what I mean? And this entire past month and a half, this whole 180 transition, and that's how the rivalry has always worked. And for people at home, like when North Carolina won the 2009 national championship, Duke was dead to rights. Everyone was like, this program is done. Coach K has lost his fastball, yada, yada, yada. Harrison Barnes committed to North Carolina, who was destined to go to Duke, and North Carolina was on top of the world. And then Duke won the ACC regular season.
Yep.
And then they went on a run and ended up winning the national championship. And all of a sudden, the tables completely turned.
Yeah.
And this feels a little bit like that, where there was like it was so assured the path that we were headed. Duke was going to win the title. North Carolina was dead to rights. And Coach K was going to have this forever legacy a la John Wooden. And Hubert Davis was a failure. And John Shire was going to be a success. It was so written in the stars because they have so much audacity that the fact that North Carolina was able to just play the game. Like I care about the game of basketball. I love the game of basketball.
Respect the game. Is all I would say.
Exactly.
Like, is there no respect for the game anymore? Dude playing with your jerseys untucked and all that, it's like, respect the game. That's all we ask.
Just don't make it about yourself.
I know. Don't make it about yourself. This is my promise to Duke fans. I swear to God, I will do this for you.
But like you said, it's not about Duke.
If in fact, Hubert Davis, when he decides he wants to retire, announces it a year in advance,
you have every right to do it.
Parades himself all over college basketball, calls in every favor on every media company that exists on planet Earth, to Nike, everything else, to just shove his retirement tour down my throat. I promise you, and you can hold me to it, if Hubert Davis goes to the NCAA tournament, I will wear Duke stuff to Hubert Davis games, and I will boo that man, and I will say, get this man out of college basketball. He's terrible for the sport. I promise you, I'll do that. I'll do that for any school that does this. But there's only one man that will do that. It is Mike Krzyzewski. And he ate shit tonight. Yeah. He ate shit tonight, and it feels good, Tate.
He ain't shit tonight.
He ain't shit, and he ate shit. Can I ask you this? Coach K, get him out of our face. Dude. We're done with him.
We get a break.
Ding dong, he's dead.
Yeah.
We'll never talk about him on this show again.
Until he's coaching in Carolina
until he's back on the sidelines next year. Carolina legends. Who this team has cemented its legacy in North Carolina history. Whatever happens on Monday night, I have to assume that if you're going to speak on behalf of all the Carolina fans, this team is legendary. This team is someone out there in Chapel Hill or in the greater state of North Carolina is going to get a tattoo of some of these guys' names on their body. For sure. Who's the legend? Give me your legend power rankings. Your North Carolina legend power rankings based on tonight. Coming away from tonight, who's the guy that's I want to kiss that man on the mouth for what he did tonight.
I kind of think this team reminds me of another 8 seed that won the title, 1985, the Villanova team. And I think I'm not saying we have our Ed Pinckney. I'm not saying we have our McLean brothers, but I do think that we have I think that all 5 of the starters, if Carolina, and you laugh about all the jerseys that Carolina's hanging up, but if they put all 5 of those guys,
a starting 5,
the Iron 5, if they put the Iron 5 up in the banners as even if they put all 4 or all 5 of their jerseys, or if they just put one this team and that's starting 5, they all individually mean so much. And the disrespect towards Leaky Black, every single journalist, they're not journalists, they're nobodies, but every single journalist that wrote all this BS. They disrespect Leaky Black. They say there's a quartet and there's the +1. This guy literally is a lockdown defender. He's going to play in the NBA. He is so important, and he's one of my favorite Tar Heels of all time because when he came in with Kobe White, that 2019 team. He was left at the altar by his 2 best friends, Nasir Little and Kobe White, who went to the NBA because of how corrupt the NBA is, thanks to Adam Silver. And,
Duke guy.
Yeah, Duke guy. And we get to the point, look, Jim's dying right now. These are jokes. This isn't jest. But in general, these 5 guys, they all have their own special place. I think that R.J. Davis is going to be one of those guys, depending on what happens on Monday night. R.J. Davis is the point guard of North Carolina. Caleb Love is, going to be shot to, demigod status amongst,
Caleb Love is the guy for me that...
Brady Manick is going to be a cult hero. Armando Bacot is probably the most beloved and most well-known of the group. And, it's kind of one of those things with all 5 of those guys where they have their own individual kind of tick or niche or whatever you want to call it. And they're all, about each other. You know what I mean? It's weird. I've never had this, in Carolina, I guess 09 was a little bit like that because Wayne's Ty's the best player, Ty's Danny's the best player, Tyler's they're all saying the other person's the best player or the most important player, whatever you want to call it. But these 5 guys, they're also important. And even when Bacot went out of this game and fouled out, you saw the difference in our team. Puff was great coming in, but those 5 are different. And I would love if they just put North Carolina 5 up and then it had all the names on the back. Kind of like how Christian Laettner's jersey had all of his accolades. I would like a 5 jersey and then all.
What if they just retired the number 5 and said?
I'd put 5 on it. That'd be pretty good.
I mean, like, there's been a lot of point guards that award 5.
Of course.
There's, like, a lot of great
McGinnis,
players.
Ed Cota.
Yeah.
Ty Lawson,
Kendall
Marcus
Marshall, right?
Page, Kendall Marshall.
Yeah.
I think Kendall's my favorite, yeah.
There were so many moments in the game that I thought, like, that was the guy who's going to be the legend now.
Caleb's the
RJ
legend
Davis was the legend, and then
Those free throws
Brady hit a couple shots where I was like, the one where he was over by the Carolina bench and he caught it and like kind of was
pump faking. He was like, "Oh, you're really not gonna close out?" Bang,
bang.
I loved it,
dude. That was sick. But the Caleb icing the game, and I think Caleb was the difference in the game in the sense that like all the guys at Carolina played well. Obviously, that's how they won the game. But Caleb Love is the one guy. From my perspective, who could match Duke's talent level. Like when Caleb Love's on, he can go toe to toe. If it turns into an ISO game, he can go ISO ball. He's like I'm comfortable with this.
Yeah, he's like, what do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
I got you.
And in the first half, we didn't get bad. It wasn't like atrocious Caleb Love, but it wasn't like the best Caleb Love experience. But the second half, dude, that dude showed up, and that was the difference. I thought.
And the difference in the season with Caleb. And I give him a lot of credit. Caleb used to start out games, and if he made it, and it was very similar to Rashad McCants, which is, not someone you want to get. But if Rashad McCants, and Carolina fans, if Rashad McCants made his first shot, great game.
Yeah, it's a great game, yeah.
If Rashad McCants missed his first shot, we're in trouble. Caleb had that same syndrome, and a lot of times you feel like he would just check out of games. He struggled in the first half of a lot of games, including UCLA, but he never quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of represented this entire group, this entire five that like, they had every reason to say season's over, things didn't go our way. We lost Anthony Harris, we lost Dawson Garcia. We don't fit together. It's Coach Davis's first year. We're not supposed to do anything. So what are we even doing here? And the fact that they never did that, and the fact that Coach Davis kept telling them they're going to go to the Final Four, he put the Superdome on their locker to start the season. You know what I mean? Like
that is insane. I remember you coming in when we were doing shows throughout the regular season. You're like, dude, Hubert Davis is driving me nuts. And I was like, why? He goes, he keeps saying that we're going to win a national championship. And I was like, oh, you might. I don't know. Like, he could build a program and, like, maybe in a few years, you guys get a good recruit class. He's like, no, he's saying it right now. Hubert Davis is saying right now that we're going to win a national championship.
Which is why, for the people at home, What was the date? Oh, yeah. October 28, 2021. Your boy put $100 down on your North Carolina Tar Heels to win the national championship 30-1. And we are one game away from me making $3,000, a.k.a. Young 3 Stacks. So for all those haters at home that say, you don't believe the cheat. Shut up.
Shut up.
Go cry. And I'll see you on Monday night.
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up with that. Let's talk Monday night real quick, just real quick, because honestly, who gives a shit? You guys won, right? Like, what is there anything?
No. I want to win on Monday night. No,
you do want to win? Oh,
yes. There's a lot of.
No, I'm
Duke
actually
fans.
surprised by that. I am.
There's a lot of Duke fans walking out of the building that were like, "Congrats on your national championship." We ain't done yet.
Wow.
Job's not finished.
I gotta be honest, dude. I'm a little surprised. I thought you would have said like, whatever happens Monday happens. Like, we got the dub we came for.
No. We're a national championship program, and when Seventh Woods was at North Carolina, I would joke to you that there were 7 titles at North Carolina, and you would always say 1924 doesn't count.
It does not count.
So it still doesn't count. And I went to Butler, I went to Hinkle Fieldhouse, I saw their 1924 banner, and I agreed with you because I was like, if they're gonna hang a banner, then our banner doesn't count.
Right.
So it's time for number 7.
You're going for number 7.
We're going for 7.
Yeah, you've talked yourself.
I've talked myself into they have to win 7.
All right.
This is the time.
That's all I needed to hear.
And Kansas, by the way, is the better team, and I think the best team in the Final Four, and we saw that tonight. Like we were walking in, you were like, the good news is Kansas is the greatest insurance policy you guys could have.
Yeah,
and I did agree with that. I was watching them, I was like, this looks pretty
Kansas
good.
is going to beat Duke. Yeah.
Yes.
Now that game's
and they should be favored against North Carolina. They should by like 6 points probably. I would assume.
I wonder if is the line out?
It's probably like 5.5, 6. I would assume, but. Kansas should be favored. I think Kansas was the best team in the Final Four. 4?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Same as tonight.
Yeah, Kansas, since the game's not going to happen, I can say it. No one can prove me wrong. Kansas would have beat Duke. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, Kansas would have beat Duke. Will they beat Carolina? I don't know. We'll see.
Kansas owns us. Or they did own us because of Roy.
Dude, how about that? This was the Roy Williams farewell tour after all.
All along.
It was always the Roy Williams farewell tour.
Always
It was never the Coach K farewell tour.
It always was.
His 2 teams playing each other.
Dude, he was so excited tonight. My mom saw Coach Williams, and he was like, way up in front of her. But she talked to him for a second, and he was this is before the game. He was so excited. Just like he's a fan now, he's like one of us. And, it's great.
I had a buddy that's here that sent me a picture that they saw Roy at the crab. This isn't breaking news to you, but Roy was at the craps table today.
Of course.
Yeah. And he sent a picture, and he's like, "Dude, this is sick. I'm watching Roy Williams play craps."
Dude,
and I was like,
he loves craps.
Yeah, I know.
He's the best. He's the best. Everyone's like, "What's Roy gonna do in retirement?" He's like, "Play golf,
play golf.
gamble,
Yeah,
gamble." Like what I've always wanted to
Same
do.
thing. MJ does same thing.
Yeah. We have a
type.
We have a certain type. Yeah.
I'll close with this, Tate.
Yeah.
My two favorite basketball games I've ever witnessed in person: 2002 Indiana versus Duke, Sweet 16 in Rupp Arena.
Great game.
And tonight, the North Carolina Tar Heels versus Duke. And I gotta say, Tate, there's one common denominator. It's the Duke Blue Devils. There's another common denominator, and it is that I sat in the one. And I don't think I've ever told you this. In 2002, when I was at the IU Duke game, I was in the Duke's section there as well.
Oh my God.
And I think there's something to it, dude.
Yeah.
I think this might be like the
You
new
have to
thing.
infiltrate.
I have to I'm going in. I have to say before the game, I'm going in.
You have to dive in.
I dive in.
You have to infiltrate, and you have to make it happen. Because I was gonna say this on the show. I'm glad you said that. This is the greatest game I've ever been at in my entire life, and obviously because things ended the way they did. But the fact that there was like 70-year-old men at North Carolina that had tears in their eyes. I mean, I'm crying just because this is like the long national nightmare that we've been waiting to end.
Yeah.
And the fact that we got to end it, North Carolina got to end it, and this team and Coach Davis in particular got to be the one who delivered Coach K's final loss. Or maybe.
First loss ever in 1980 was North Carolina. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Final loss in Cameron Indoor Stadium was North Carolina.
Yeah.
Final loss of his career is in North Carolina.
You know what's funny? Like, I watched Zombieland the other day, and rule number 2 is double tap. And I knew at that point, as I was watching that movie, that the single shot was not going to be enough. It might have been a buckshot, but we need two. We needed two, and they got it done.
I'm so happy for you, man. I really do believe that this is a game, and I feel comfortable saying this, even though it's recency bias. This is a game that it will be a classic forever. This is a wherever you.
I want to watch this on television. Like I was saying, I want to watch this with the full context of the broadcast team, everything. Yeah.
If you are a college basketball fan, you will remember this game forever, and to be in the building for it is an absolute treat.
I had a Villanova fan say that to me on the way out.
Yeah.
He was like, I literally being in there, I feel like I was a part of history.
Yeah.
And I was
really were,
dude, I was honestly, it was so personal that I appreciate that someone gave me the wider purview of
I just can't believe it actually happened, man, because for the first 12 minutes of that game at least, I just kept saying to myself, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe Carolina and Duke are playing. I can't believe it's the final. You almost couldn't even observe what was happening because you're just kept pinching yourself or looking around are my eyes deceiving me? And then for it to live up to the hype, dude, what a night. Let's go celebrate.
Yeah, let's go celebrate.
Are we done with the show?
I think we're done with the show. I mean, my final thought is that Monday night is going to be a great game. Shout out to Bill Self. I know we didn't talk about Villanova and Kansas at all, but shout out to the Kansas team. They blew out Villanova. We know that they were whatever, but Monday will be a great night. North Carolina. I mean, I have never been more proud of a group of guys. And 2017, I thought I could never top that feeling of redemption. I really did, and I love Isaiah Hicks. You know I love you. But this group is so detached. I knew the guys in 2017. I don't know these guys personally, really. You know what I mean? So, it feels like I'm a kid again, and, I'm just a fan of, these guys I don't – you know what I mean? It's – I don't know.
It's great, dude.
There's some sort of joy in it where it's I'm distant enough where I can just be a fan, which is great.
The $1 million question I have is, will I wear the Ed Cota jersey on Monday, or is the job done? Is the war over and I can my watch is ended? I can take the Ed Cota.
I think my mom's gonna make you wear that jersey. Jim might steal it back.
I think
before
so.
Then. Yeah.
I think
Jim is agreeing he's going to take it back.
But I don't know if I'm going to yell as loud that I lose my voice on Monday.
We have to call the 3X3U tomorrow, so I cannot wait to apologize to them for not having a voice.
I'll let you sign off because when you decide we're done, we're done, I'm going to put the microphone over here if you want to say anything else, or if you just want to say goodbye. Say
I mean,
goodbye
this
to
is
everybody.
this is it.
So that's
goodbye,
it.
everybody. Go Heels, go America, and go you for believing in yourself, Caleb Love.